Welcome to The Counteroffer with Jenny Kim and Meredith Alderson.
We're two top producing agents in Austin who are going to be talking about lifestyle, business, and what really happens behind the deals.
Meredith, Alderson, and Jenny Kim.
Welcome back to The Counteroffer. I'm Meredith.
And I'm Jenny.
Today, we're diving into a topic that I think every single person can relate to. We're talking about the stories we tell ourselves. You know, those little voices in our head that convince us that we're behind, not ready, not qualified, or somehow not enough.
And the crazy part is, we usually don't even realize those stories are running the show. They can shape how we compare ourselves to other people, why we hold ourselves back, and even why we feel the need to control everything around us.
Jenny, we're going to get real in this episode. We're sharing some of the stories we've believed about ourselves, the moments we've realized we were standing in our own way, and how we're still working through some of those beliefs today.
So whether you've ever compared yourself to someone else, talked yourself out of a big opportunity, or felt like you had to have everything figured out before taking the next step, this conversation is for you.
We hope this episode helps you recognize a few stories you might be ready to let go of. Let's jump in.
All right, before we get into it, Meredith, catch me up. What's going on? What's new in your life?
So many fun things with my family right now. About to send 2 kids off to college this year. Lots of family vacations, little weekends away. So much good stuff. But I'll tell you, the market is hard right now.
I don't even want to talk about the market. Summer is always... It makes me like look inward because I'm like, what is happening?
I just feel like every transaction is such a challenge, right? It's like buyers are not super motivated to be collaborative, I'll say.
They're a little demanding right now, I think.
Yeah, and so picky, which of course, like they have every right to be.
Yeah.
But it is like getting under contract is just the first hurdle, which is like a small hurdle at this point, right?
I've been
Compared
hearing
to,
it from a lot of agents that falling out of contract is so common right now. So it's tough. All you agents out there, we're in it with you.
Hang in there. Yeah, we're all kind of in it. Jenny, happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Tell me about it.
Well, it was a big one. It was a milestone. I turned 40. And honestly, I feel it in a good way. In a good way. I think every birthday I always wake up and I'm like it's just another day. But this year, I think it was because I was intentionally thinking about, okay, I'm turning 40. And shout out to my friends and family. Everyone like really celebrated me over the last few weeks. But I'm feeling this like new, just like rejuvenation and excitement for my 40s, and everyone that I see.
40s are amazing.
Everyone says it's going to be the best decade.
You know, when you think about the decades, it's like 20s is such a decade of transition. So much fun, but you're changing so much about your life and living on your own and getting your career going. And 30s, a lot of times, like you're starting your family, and that's a lot of change as well.
Blurry.
40s, I feel like, is the first decade where you're like, there's a bit more peace. It's not like chaotic. You have some stability around some of the major things in your life. And you can just grow.
You like hit it, because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm kind of coming out of the clouds, and I can reflect back on my 30s in a very intentional way, but also like look ahead, and I just feel more intentional. I think that's what I'm feeling going into.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Jenny, so we've talked about you turning 40, entering a new decade, looking back at the last decade, and just kind of thinking about who you thought you were, stories you believed about yourself. What have you been thinking about?
Oh, that's a big question. I think I've been kind of turning this page of labeling myself as just a mom or just a realtor. I think I struggled with that a lot over the last decade, and I still do, but I do feel like I'm pivoting a little bit. And what I mean by that is, especially with just the realtor, like, air quotes, I think I was really doing a disservice to myself a lot, of not letting people know, like, truly what it is that I do. And I think there was a lot of like insecurity and maybe like not embarrassment, but just like I'd never wanted to feel like I was imposing on people with my profession, right? Because being a realtor it is a sales job. You get clients from your sphere, your friends, your family, friends of friends. And that is something that I never wanted to lead with or like shout from the rooftops, right? Like, I'm a realtor. If you're selling a house or you're buying, call me, just like coming off super salesy or cheesy. But I think now, just being in the industry for as long as I have been and being really confident in my skill set, it's still something that I struggle with for sure. But I am starting to become more loud about this is part of my life. This is what I do. This is what pays the bills. This is how I feed my family.
It's like a pride in what you do, right? I can totally relate to this sort of embarrassment about the profession, because I think that it's not a well-respected profession to a lot of people, right? And I think, there are just so many people that dabble in it and maybe don't give it the best reputation. And to your point, like, there are a lot of people that are really pushy and salesy, and if that's not who you are, you feel like you're kind of fighting this uphill battle about, like, proving what you do is, like, actually a career.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And I think we've talked about this before, but because we both came from corporate that is very respectable, that is a hard transition to, like, believe that you should be proud that you have built a business. You're fully running a business on your own and playing every single role in that business. But why do we feel like it's not respectable?
Yeah, and I think it's also a lot to do with how careers in general have shifted so much, even in just like the last decade, right? Like, when I was growing up, it was like, yes, you go to college, you graduate, you get into a Fortune 500 company, work your way up, that is success. But over the last 10, 20 years, that definition of success has shifted, right? People are now working remotely, traveling, starting businesses, being a podcaster. Like, you could literally do whatever you want. Like, the world is your oyster. And I think when I was in my formative years, those weren't options. So I think this narrative of, like, being a business owner and, like, wearing all the hats, it just, for me personally, like, that wasn't my definition of success, like, growing up. I think I was like, I need to, work the 9 to 5 and be a VP and, like, run this team. So I think getting over that was part one. And then part two is, like, I am good at what I do, and people should know that. And I should be proud of being able to represent people in one of the biggest transition marks of their lives.
Yeah, it's really hard to be boastful about what you do without feeling like this sort of cringe about
the ick.
Sharing your success, right?
Yeah.
It's like really hard to do that. But you're right, like, we should be proud of what we're doing and we should share it with the world.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to hear is, I didn't know you were a realtor. I would have called you if I had known. And, like, that to me was like, that was all on me.
So let's maybe talk about, for newer agents, like, how do you get to that point? I feel like it's a confidence thing, right? So you've worked hard to build your business, you've had some success, and then you feel proud enough to put it out to the world, right? And a lot of that's through social media. Some of it's through conversation. But I will say, like, this is an area that I still struggle. Like, in my personal network, I really have a hard time talking about what I do, because I don't want to come across, as you said earlier, as, like, the girl that wants to try to sell your house or, like, help you buy a house, right? Like, there are plenty of agents. I'm not always trying to earn your business, but I want to talk about my life and my success with the people that are in my inner circle too. But I really have a hard time with that. I'm thinking about people who are maybe new to the industry or new to whatever they're doing, right? And they don't have a lot of confidence. What's some things that you would recommend to them to just help them put themselves out there?
Well, this is something I'm trying to actively do a little bit more of, is just sharing more about the details of our industry, sharing more about our day-to-day, like, maybe the not so glamorous stuff. Because I whether that's on social media or in conversations, like, even with my friends, I noticed myself that they're like, what's going on with work? And I'm just kind of giving, like, a top line, right? Oh, I had this great closing. I just got this new listing. But I think talking about the details, like, oh my gosh, I went to this inspection and we found foundation issues, and then I had to call in the foundation expert and, coordinate all of this. Like, all of those stories, it validates our profession. we do need to know more than the average person. You know, we do need to take classes. We need to keep up with our CE credits. We need to market things and be business people. And so I think sharing more about maybe the things that we think are boring, bring a little bit more light.
People genuinely seem interested when we post things about our day, but I don't do it enough, right? I mean, people are like really interested in what our days are like. So we should make an agreement to each other that we will do more of that.
Yeah, the details. It's all in the details.
And really like elevate this as a profession. So what I would say is anybody who's starting anything new, one, stop saying I'm just, right? Like you started out. You're not just a stay-at-home mom. You're not just a realtor. You're not just a podcaster. You are those things. So say it boldly and with confidence, and you will start to believe it as well. And then I think we have to talk about comparison, right? Because there is always someone doing something that either you want to be doing or at a level you want to be doing it. And it is no matter where you are or what success you've had or what you've achieved, there's always going to be someone you're comparing yourself to.
Yeah. I mean, what are some things for you, Meredith, that like trigger you for like comparisons? Is it like more like numbers, or is it more about your brand? Like what are some things that are hard for you?
For me, it's a lot around numbers. I mean, I good or bad, I care a lot about like, I measure the success of my business by how much did I sell this year, right? And when I look at other people's numbers, that is a trigger for me of like, I'm not doing enough. I've got to do more.
So is it more other people's numbers, or is it more like your number from last year, or both?
Well, I will not let myself do less than I did last year.
So for the record, Meredith is always doing more every year.
But that's a little bit of a curse too. It's like, when is it enough? Right? And I think that's another question that we should kind of dig into a little bit is like, there is always more to do. Yeah. But when is it enough for you?
Yes, I would say for me, numbers is a part of it for sure. Maybe this is part of my like 40-year-old shift, but I really envy a lot of people that have time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Balance, which we've talked about before,
I know,
which we think doesn't exist.
Yeah. We're both actively striving towards. But when I see other realtors that post a lot about their personal life, we've talked about this where it may come off like, oh, they're not working enough. But to me, as like a fellow realtor, I'm like, man, they have time to go to Europe for 6 weeks. Yeah. Like, how do they do that? And that to me is something that I compare, like their lifestyle. I think
totally.
Their freedom of time.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, is something that because I think we both struggle with a lot. How to manage our time and just create this balance. So comparing people's lifestyle, I think for me is kind of the Achilles heel.
I mean, let's be real. There are multiple comparison points, right? Like another one for me is neighborhoods, like areas I maybe want to do more business. I'm comparing myself to the agents who are doing more business in those areas, right? So there's always going to be comparison. But I do think with age comes maturity and acceptance. And I feel so much of that through the decade I've been doing this job is every year I feel more comfortable and like I'm doing what works for me, what's best for me. And at some point, it like is enough. Like I'm starting to feel this peace about not everything needing to feel like so hurried and frenetic all the time of just like, relax. It will happen as it's supposed to happen. You've got to work at it.
Sure,
but you don't have to work at it 24 hours a day.
And that's like also just our business because there is no like A to B to C to Z, right? It's like, after Z, there's so much more you could be doing. And there's no ceiling, which is, we've talked about this again, like beauty of our business, but also the curse because you don't know when to stop or like when to hop off and say, okay, enough is enough. So Meredith, have there been any decisions you've made in the past that were based off of a comparison that maybe turned out to not be the right decision?
Oh, 100%. I probably have so many examples, but one that comes to mind that is like top of mind for me is, a lot of times in real estate, in our industry, you start out as a solo agent and you see successful agents building teams. And I felt like that was the path that I should go down. And once you achieve certain sales volume or a certain amount of success, the next step is building a team. Yeah. I did that and realized, because I thought I had to or needed to, because it's what other people did, and realized that was not for me.
How big did your team get?
We probably had at one point 14 to 16 on the team between admin and agents.
Okay.
But what it did is it helped me understand that what I really love is doing the job and helping my clients and not really managing a team.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there was a time in my life when I really loved managing a team in corporate, right? But that was a different phase of my life too. So I think what I have learned over the years is that there are different chapters for different times in your life, different versions of you, different desires about what you want your life to look like. And it was really a gift to go down that road of comparison and realize that's actually not what I wanted.
Yeah. You know, you touched on something important. I think in real estate, it's one of the few professions that allows you to like kind of reinvent yourself, right? Like you can be a solo agent, you can be on a team, you can switch brokerages, you could, try different neighborhoods. Like I think that makes it so exciting because you're not just, okay, this is my role and I'm here at this desk and this is what I do 9 to 5 every day. So I love that story that you tried it, it didn't work, and you pivoted and it was fine. You know, the world did burn down because you didn't have a team. Like you're still a successful realtor.
Well, and the word reinvent is, I think that's so key for anyone. Like no matter what you're in. I think so many people get to a place in life where they feel stuck or they feel too invested in what they've done. Like, yes, change is scary, but it's also a gift that allows you to see other possibilities, right? And it actually, to me, change actually is very motivating to grow my business or focus on something else or make a change personally. Yeah. And I think that's really a valuable gift that we can give ourselves. So don't feel stuck.
What are your thoughts on comparisons, though, being able to push you in a positive way? Because one example is like, I look at you, you do have a team, right? Like you don't have like a big team of agents, but you've got, help at the Heyday group and you've got people that you work with. And that's something that ever since I've gotten to know you and your team, I'm like, I want that. Like I want an Adam, because it's just, not only has it helped your business, but I feel like it brings so much joy to your life as a realtor. And so it's something that I've been thinking about, and I have a team of agents. We're a small team, but it's different. We don't have like a brick and mortar office. We don't see each other every day. And it's something that I've thought about, like, do I want what Meredith has? But in thinking of that, it's inspiring me to maybe be more present with my current team, even if we don't have a brick and mortar. But it's also making me think like, okay, but where would I have to give if I did that? Yeah. Right? Like if I did have to be at a brick and mortar office with my team, that probably means less time with my kids, right? And it kind of refocuses me to like, okay, in this season of my life, like I want to be with my kids. So yes, maybe I could have a team and an office like Meredith in 10 years, but like right now, it's not for me, But I think comparisons can be healthy because it also gives you goals, right? Or something to work towards.
It is motivating for sure, right? Depending on who you're comparing yourself to or what it is. I mean, we're comparing ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Whether you're at the gym or out on a walk in your neighborhood or looking at other people's houses, like you're constantly comparing. But I do think there's a healthy aspect to that.
Yeah.
And for me, that is very motivating. I think if you're a person that comparison is paralyzing in a way where you feel like you get stuck and you can't move forward, figure out a way to flip the script, right? And make it really motivating. Reach out to that person. Here's the other thing. I think sometimes we compare ourselves to people and we feel like they're untouchable because of who they are, of what they've achieved. But we're all human. And at the end of the day, those people probably crave that connection in some way, and maybe you have something to offer them too.
And you better believe it. They have someone that they're comparing themselves to as well. Like everyone is looking up, and seeing, well, what are they doing? So I agree. I think the untouchables narrative in our heads of agents doing more, people that have more, I think you just have to remember, like, they're also comparing themselves to someone else too. So it's not a foreign feeling for sure.
Well, also this idea of also be grateful, right? Just like be humble, but be grateful for what you have accomplished, right? To your point, there's always going to be someone who has more, does more, whatever it is, but appreciate what you have built and celebrate that and set some goals for yourself, but make them goals that are achievable and help you build confidence along the way. And who knows, you'll look back in 5 years and you won't believe what you've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, love that.
Jenny, can you remember a time in your career where maybe you were so busy trying to prove yourself that you think you actually got in your own way?
Yes, I think especially in my early days as a new realtor, I think I equated busyness with success or busyness with progress.
Oh, for sure.
And that was so false because that was like a one-way ticket to burnout, right? Like I thought like, okay, as long as I'm like at my desk doing all the things like, and just like every weekend I'm out there showing homes and I'm, calling out the people, that would be success. And, in some ways, of course, that helps. But I think cramming everything in to every second of your day, it didn't allow me to run the marathon. Like I was successful for a short amount of time, but then my mental health and like just physically, I couldn't do it anymore.
Well, and how you showed up for other people.
Exactly.
Right?
So much of my other parts of my life were floundering. So that I feel like definitely did a disservice, and shifting that mindset of like, okay, I don't have to be doing real estate 24/7. And just, numbers, more.
What a gift to finally realize that. I struggled with the same. The first 8 years of my career, I equated busyness to productivity, right? And I, like you, learned that that's not the case, and I could work smarter, right? But that is, if you can learn that early.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember there were times when I would wake up because I had so much anxiety around work that I would wake up at like 4 a.m. and I would just go to my desk and I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna like get a head start. And sure, every once in a while, if you're really overloaded, that can be helpful. But then I started getting feedback from people being like, why are you sending me an email at 4 a.m.? Not in like a mean way, but not like I interrupted them or like woke them up, but more just like, what are you doing? And it was kind of this moment where I was like a little bit embarrassed. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, what psycho is up at 4 a.m. like just sending off 20 emails, and this is before I schedule send is actually very handy. But I was just so anxious about like getting ahead of my day and like trying to fit in more, that if I woke up in the middle of the night, I would just get up and go to my office, like again, like a psycho. But leading me to burnout and just really not being able to actually show up for my business. Yeah. I was so just burnt out.
I think about mindset all the time, right? I feel like when I am in a really positive mindset, business flows to me, right? It's just like the doors are open and everything is going my way. And of course, there are challenges, but I'm in a positive mindset, so I'm able to more calmly work through them.
Tell me about like, what does that mean for you? Like positive mindset, like, is that like positive affirmations you're telling yourself? Is that giving yourself more leeway to make mistakes? Like how, just being
I don't know that I can answer that. I mean, it's more just like a thought. When I'm in a negative headspace or I feel like, gosh, everything's going wrong today, nothing can go right, I attract that negative energy and more things do go wrong. I like have, maybe I'm like not aligning in conversations with the people I love and it feels like there's a lot of tension or it just feels like things don't flow. It feels really sticky. So if I can put myself in a mindset that feels open and positive, everything is so much easier. And I can't really say, how do you do that? But I think awareness, I use that word all the time. Awareness is so much of everything. If you are aware of it and you can consciously shift whatever you shift in your brain, that's all I'm doing.
And even if you don't even get to the shifting point, right? Just telling yourself, okay, I'm in a funk. Like I've been negative today, full stop, right? Just even like acknowledging that, I feel like then opens you up for that shift. But if you're just like moving through it and you're just like, this day sucks, blah, 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 like
guess what? The day's going to.
Yeah, it's not gonna, there's no opportunity for the shift. So yeah, I think the acknowledgement is huge.
So that's a little bit of like control of our own minds. So let's talk about control, right? I think one of the things that's really challenging in this industry is feeling like you're the only one that can do everything because you could do it faster, you'll do it right. And I think there is this idea that people just want to have ownership of everything. But I'll tell you, it is the most limiting factor to growing in this business.
Yes.
If you do not accept help and let go of control, there is a limit to how much you can do.
So what's one thing that you let go of that you were like, oh, actually someone can do this better than me?
Well, it's taken me years. I mean, now I feel like I'm pretty good at letting go of certain things, but I'd say anything administrative around like launching listings, setting up buyer tours, document prep, DocuSign, like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
There's so much of that stuff that I don't have to do. I might have to show someone how to do it. And part of my problem is I don't like to slow down long enough to do that. But once I do, like I've given myself the gift of time. And I think as we talked about earlier, we've told ourselves that busy is productive. But if we slow down, offload some of the things that we felt like we had to control, you're giving yourself the gift of time back. And you then feel like like you have this breathing room in your life that like you didn't have before.
Yeah. I think one aspect of control that honestly, coming to EXP kind of opened this whole new world for me is like, you are not the expert in everything, so don't try to be, right? Like find someone that actually knows whatever it is that you're trying to learn about and ask them. And I joining EXP, again, was kind of a positive thing that I stumbled on of how people are really excited to share what they know. Like we do like the AHAs, right? The Agent Helping Agent events every month where we have expert panels of agents talking about the thing that they know extremely well and sharing it with everyone. And I didn't ever think as a realtor, like, oh, I can ask other realtors questions about things that I don't know about. Like, sure, I could ask my broker, like, maybe a couple of agents that I'm close to I could ask. But that aspect of control of letting go of like, I'm not the expert, I don't know everything has been really liberating for me that I can like pick up the phone and like call you and be like, tell me about this area because I know nothing about it.
Well, like I did this morning when you came into my office, right? I need help with acquiring lots for spec builds, and guess who's the expert? Not me.
And
Jenny.
That's so liberating, right? Just to let go of that control and be like, okay, I don't have to research everything on my own and like learn it by myself because there is someone here that actually knows it. So, just one thing that I think for me moving over to EXP has been so delightful. It's just like being able to tap into other brilliant agents that know so much more than I do.
Yeah, and I'd say for anybody, no matter what you're doing, get help. When you get to a certain point where you just feel absolutely maxed, hire help and give up control of some of the things that you felt like you had to be doing yourself. You'll be amazed at how much it opens you up for other opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, so Meredith, if all of these patterns are learned and these are all stories we tell ourselves, I think it's safe to say that we can also kind of rewrite the stories or unlearn certain habits or patterns. So what would you say is success to you, means success to you that maybe didn't mean success 5 years ago?
I think I would go back to what you said earlier, which is time, or what I think of as like just space in my life, breathing room, which is, again, not feeling like I have to be busy all the time.
Yep.
And being okay with quiet time, right? Just being with my family, being home alone, doing something I choose to do rather than something that I feel like I have to do for work.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think doing what I want with my time is probably my definition of success today. Whether that is taking on this amazing new listing or it's, taking a few days off in the middle of the week to do nothing to do with real estate. I think that for me, like if I can do that and not feel guilty or not feel like this pressure of like, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this, like, like as if I'm playing hooky, I think for me it is truly like is success in my book.
Yeah, and I think we will continue to struggle with that, right? Like you'll never not feel that guilt. You'll never feel like, oh, there's nothing to do. I'm fine taking the full day off. There's always something to do. But you have to, again, take control of your life and your time and figure out like how you define success.
Yeah.
So Jenny, we've talked about so much today, but if I was giving advice to anybody listening that's feeling really stuck, what I would say is, one, talk to other people. People see things in you that you don't see in yourself. Let other people help motivate you. One of the things I love to do is grab a friend and go for a walk, right? Take a walk and talk and break down whatever the topic is you're feeling stuck about. Another piece of advice I would give is put blinders on. There's going to be so many distractions, and you're going to want to try to do so many things at once, and you're going to be comparing yourself. Put your blinders on, put your head down, focus on the things that you feel passionate about and that interest you, and you will find success if you can give those things attention.
Love that. One thing that I would suggest to listeners is, if there is someone you're comparing yourself to or that you really admire, just reach out to them. You know, I feel like Austin in general is a pretty friendly city. And I think most realtors are flattered when other realtors are like, hey, I love what you're doing. You know, would you want to grab coffee? Or like, I would love to learn more about what it is that you're doing. So I would challenge you, if you're comparing yourself and you're struggling, like, just reach out to that person. Again, humanize
I love
them
that so much.
And you might be surprised about the connection that you make.
Yeah, and I think you'll see them through a different set of eyes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening today. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
And if you have any questions about anything we covered today, feel free to DM us or contact us on Instagram. I'm at Jenny Kim ATX.
And Meredith Alderson.Heyday.